As I mentioned in the previous video, Disney took a break from princess-centric stories between Sleeping Beauty and The Little Mermaid. Without the princesses as an outlet for their happily ever afters, the non-princesses had a lot of royal traits thrust upon them. Was this for the better? Or for the worse? Well, when it was done right, it worked incredibly well. When it was done wrong, it was pretty painful. For the most part though, they were just somewhere in between. Not terrible, but not great. The first Disney girl we'll be looking at in this video is not in the in-between category, and not at all great. Of all the whiny little brats Disney produced, Marie has got to be the whiniest, littlest, brattiest. She has a precocious attitude that could be tolerable, or even an interesting character trait, if she was in any way likeable. But she's so spoiled and so irritating that her precociousness comes off as teeth-grindingly unpleasant. Aside from that, she is always the one getting the group into trouble. Apart from the initial kidnapping, which I have to admit was not her fault, although I like to think that Edgar started hating cats because of her. She falls off a bridge, she almost drowns, she falls out of a van, and every single one of these mistakes puts someone else in danger. She can't even get herself out of this situation. Christ. Now, I might have been able to forgive these mistakes if she had learnt from them. But she doesn't. She's still the same stupid, whiny little girl from beginning to end. The most we get out of her is some really insincere sounding gratitude.
Thank you, Mr. O'Malley, for saving my life.
By the end of the film, when O'Malley is rescuing them for, the 58th time, he immediately picks her up because he knows she's not even remotely capable of getting herself out of it. On top of that, and I know this is a nitpick, maybe even a little bit mean, but her voice is horrible.
Ladies do not start fights, but they can finish them.
When she's talking in that grating whine, it's bad enough, but she also sings in it. And everyone acts like she's good! What? Even this wouldn't bother me so much, except...
Everybody wants to be a cat.
Yep, she ruins the best song in the film. Screw her. I'm really struggling to find something positive to say about Marie, so in order to be slightly fair to her, she is only a child. Well, a kitten. And she has absolutely zero experience of the outside world, having been raised in the rich part of town, having her every whim catered to. So even though I absolutely loathe her and she's annoying as hell, her flaws are at least understandable. As are her mother's. Like Marie, Duchess is in a foreign, scary environment with no clue what to do or where to go. It makes sense for her to be a bit damsel-y. That being said, she does a good job of protecting her children, keeping them safe and under control, for the most part. She never puts herself before their well-being. She even spares some consideration for their owner, worrying about how she'll cope without them. Kind of a weird priority she's got there. I mean, she is in mortal peril, but whatever. That only means her kindness and compassion are very deep set, and I can't hate on that. I do find it hard to forgive this line, though.
Oh, where am I? I'm not at home at all.
Well, no fucking duh! Oh, and remember how I called her damsel-y?
Helping beautiful damsels in distress is my specialty.
Speaking of the romance, well, it's not great. Beyond charm and flirtation, there's not that much to it. In fairness, the focus of the film is not their relationship, but they do give quite a lot of time to the two of them, and I just don't see anything there. There's no real spark or chemistry between them. It just seems like they met at an opportune time, even after they have a discussion about their future together. Now there's a first. There isn't much sense of longing or heartbreak or bitterness or anything. They just kind of move on. But I will give them this. It does seem genuine. The writers could easily have gone down the "he rescued me so I automatically love him" path, or the "she's rich so I'm going to use her for her status" path, or even the "she's rich so I'm going to use her for her status, oh no wait it turns out I actually have feelings for her" path. But they didn't. And in the end, I do root for them to end up together, if only because he's not just fallen for her, he's fallen for her whole family. That's a classy and surprisingly modern ideal. So even though I don't see much between the two love interests, I still want them to be a family. Nicely done, Aristocats. I would love to say Maid Marian is a great character, I really would, but the fact is that such a small amount of screen time is given to her that she can only be one of those in-between characters. She doesn't appear until 20 minutes into the film, and then she disappears 50 minutes into the film. That's half an hour of screen time! She briefly appears again at the very end to marry Robin, but she doesn't even say anything. It's shockingly disrespectful to a romantic lead, particularly one that had so much potential. Anyway, that's the downside to Maid Marian. What works? Well, just about everything. Although she isn't seen much, it really doesn't detract anything to a damaging degree. You still get her interactions with the kids, which show her as a kind, compassionate young woman, and also show she has a playful side, playing games with them and making them laugh. The romance works particularly well. It benefits from having their love affair start before the beginning of the film. I'm a big fan of this concept. It bypasses the awkward, gooey boy meets girl stuff and allows the characters to actually explore their relationship. The heartache they feel at not having seen each other in years is both refreshing and believable, and makes their reconciliation at the archery tournament very rewarding and impassioned. They even discuss their future, albeit in the middle of an action scene, which is a little cliched. Speaking of cliched...
Life is brief, but when it's gone, love goes on and on.
I really dislike this love song. Everything about it is bland, lifeless, and nothing at all to do with what's happening in the story.
Baby, I wrote you a love song. It wasn't hard and it really didn't take long. A totally generic love song. Yeah, really, this could be about anyone.
Yeah, that. But my real complaint, as I've mentioned, is the amount of time she is given. She could easily have been among the top Disney females if they'd only cut out some other stuff. My suggestion would be the Vultures. This film has enough villains. Prince John, Hiss, the Sheriff of Nottingham, that's enough. Well, anyway, there's enough of her presence for me to really like her, so I suppose I can't complain too much. I'll save my real complaining for the next one. Ugh. Join me next time for a mouse, a dog, and... what's this? A human? Nothing animal about her at all? Huh. Weird.